Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Kevin Feige was able to build this with Jon Favreau on a limited budget. That was a pretty good impression, huh? Hello everyone, my name is Vibe and welcome back to another episode of Vibe Meter. Today we're talking about 2008's The Invincible Iron Man. Well, maybe not invincible, but it was pretty damn good. This movie started it all. This movie is the spawn point of the entire MCU. The greatest cinematic universe to ever exist. And it's still going pretty strong. I don't know if you heard the rumors, but it's true. Anyway, I could talk about this movie for fucking hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to talk about Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man yet. I'm gonna save that at the end. But I wanna talk about the movie itself, because this movie is, I don't know how many people know the actual story behind this movie and how it got made. I suggest you go find someone better than me to explain to you. Here I go explaining it to you. So, this movie was a real gamble for Marvel Studios at the time. Like Kevin Feige and Avi Arad and a few other studio people who were kinda in charge of Marvel Studios at the time, they went to Merrill Lynch to get like a $500 million loan so they could like finance a few movies. They essentially wanted to make Marvel Studios into an actual movie studio. And they had a bunch of characters. There was Black Panther and Doctor Strange, who were like the biggest characters Marvel still had. They were about to be collateral in this deal if this movie wouldn't have worked. So yeah, this movie was destined to fail, essentially. It was such a gamble for Marvel Studios, and if this would have flopped, obviously we wouldn't have the MCU and everything, but this would have been fucking disastrous if it didn't work out for Marvel Studios. But it worked. It fucking worked. Iron Man became so successful, in fact, that this one movie alone was able to pay back Merrill Lynch and the loan alone, and that helped obviously pave the road for the Marvel cinematic universe. So yeah, how does this movie really work? Well, on the set of Daredevil, the 2003's Daredevil is when Kevin Feige, who still was a producer of Marvel Studios, and he, on the set of that movie, met Jon Favreau. So that's sort of where they first touched base. That's where they sort of met and sort of got introduced to each other. And then Favreau made a movie. Was it Elf? I'm not gonna check. I'm gonna trust that I'm right. It's Elf. So yeah, Jon Favreau made Elf. Directed Elf, and then that just sort of happened to be in the correct time that Marvel saw Elf and thought, okay, this guy can make a pretty doomed to fail movie into a pretty good movie. And that opened the eyes for Kevin Feige to get back in touch with Jon Favreau, and they sort of started this whole process. And this freaking movie went through so many iterations. There was, everybody knows that there's Tom Cruise was attached to almost be in this film. That didn't get that was, although that was in the 90s. This was like almost 10 years before this movie actually came out. There were so many iterations. I'm not gonna go into it too much. Again, go check someone who's more knowledgeable of this than me. But this movie was doomed to fail, but it didn't, because Jon Favreau trusted in one person who could really bring it. And that person, obviously, that's Robert Downey Jr. And we all know Robert Downey Jr. He's, I guess, struggles in the 90s. He was kind of deemed not to be Hollywood worthy, I guess. Which by Hollywood standards is a fucking miracle. Anyway, he was sort of on this comeback thing with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. By the way, I watched, okay, this is like a few months ago now, but I watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang for the first time, and I gotta say, That's a really fucking good movie. If you haven't seen that, go see that. Also, I rewatched Tropic Thunder, which okay, this is, I don't know if this is gonna seem like a hot take or whatever, but I think Kirk Lazarus is Robert Downey Jr.'s best role. I'm not kidding. And yeah, anyway, I'm kidding way over. I don't know what I'm talking even about anymore. Anyway, I watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That was amazing. I watched Due Date, which also has Iron Man in it. That was not Iron Man in it. I mean Robert Downey Jr. in it. I watched Due Date, which was made by Todd Phillips, and it was made by Todd Phillips, and it had Zach Galifianakis. I don't know if I said that correctly, but it had that guy from the Hangover movies, and that Due Date was sort of in between Hangover 1 and Hangover 2 for Todd Phillips, and I think that's also a very underrated movie. I really like that. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I don't know, I'm just fucking going in circles explaining stuff here, but yeah. Ellie McBeal, I have not seen that, but I have seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and I've also seen Iron Man 3, which is also directed by Shane Black, and I have to say, there's some clear, obvious parallels between Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Iron Man 3 that, I mean, once I get to it, I will talk about it more, but there's clear parallels and things I understand now better after I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and now I will previously haven't seen Iron Man 3, so like, okay, I'm not gonna go into it now, but like whenever I get to that, just a reminder for everyone out there that I'm gonna be talking about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in Iron Man 3. Anyway, but yeah, Iron Man is fantastic. Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., is a once-in-a-lifetime role that Robert Downey Jr. nailed, and this movie would not have worked without Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and that is all thanks to Jon Favreau, who, again, I don't know how many people know this, but Jon Favreau just suggested to Marvel that, hey, let's go after this guy Robert Downey Jr. He's good. He's gonna be good. He has a fucking banger quote that he says about why Robert Downey Jr. was chosen, that I'm not gonna say now, but he sort of gave Marvel, like, hey, this is the guy, let's go after this guy and let's get this guy. Marvel said no. But what did Jon Favreau do? He leaked it. He leaked the idea of Robert Downey Jr. Being Iron Man, and that sort of became a thing. I mean, this was in the early to mid 2000s. So, like, obviously there was not like Twitter or something, but it created a lot of buzz. And fucking boss, whatever you call it at that time, and Marvel was kind of handcuffed to make this decision to bring Robert Downey Jr. in. That's a very short-handed way of, like, again, I keep saying this. Go watch New Rockstars. They explain this much better than I do. Go Google this stuff. It's much better explained than what I'm explaining, but I'm fairly sure what I'm saying is correct, so that makes me correct. Jon Favreau kinda tweaked the system to let Robert Downey Jr. play this role. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is Robert Downey Jr. and this whole movie, in fact, was doomed to fail, and it didn't. The quote from Jon Favreau that I kinda teased, it is, I don't have the direct quote, but I'm gonna paraphrase it and hope I'm close enough. He says, actually no, I'm gonna get the full quote, because holy fuck, I do not, English is not my first language, I don't know. Google AI, please tell me you find it. Oh, apparently also Jon Favreau, to convince hesitant Marvel Studio, which viewed Downey as a high-risk casting choice, obviously, due to his past, obviously, Favreau argued that Downey could do for Iron Man what Johnny Depp could do for the Pirates of the Caribbean. Fucking amazing. I did not know that. Oh, I found a part of the quote. I don't know if this is the full quote. Shit, I really should have prepared. But fuck it, I'm not gonna do scripts here. I'm gonna fucking wing it. Whoa, no, I lost it. Fuck, Oh, this is the full quote. Listen up. So yeah, this anyway. Sorry if this got off to a very weird start, but the full quote by Jon Favreau is: "The best and worst moments of Robert's life have been in the public eye. He had to find an inner balance to overcome obstacles that went far beyond his career. That's Tony Stark. Robert brings a depth that goes beyond a comic book character having trouble in high school or can't get the girl." I do not remember that part of the quote, but okay. Jon Favreau insisted that no safe choice actor could potentially portray a man facing his own flaws and redeeming himself quite like Downey could. Fucking fantastic. So anyway, the point is I'm trying to say is Favreau understood the fucking assignment. And what did Robert Downey Jr. do? He too understood the fucking assignment. I just spit on my mic. Jesus. Whatever. Favreau believed Downey had the rare ability to pull off playing a likable asshole while grounding the superhero movie with true emotional weight and authenticity. Fucking true. That's sort of my whole ramble about the movie being made. Anyway, RDJ and Jon Favreau understood the assignment. Kevin Feige stood behind them and fucking... I don't know what he did. I mean, I know what he did. He was instrumental coming up with making Marvel Studios and sort of starting this own cinematic universe where each film was part of the same universe, which was also a thing that they were trying to do with other movies. Like I said, Daredevil and like the Fox X-Men movies and the Raimi Spider-Man movies and the Fantastic Four movies, they were sort of meant to be in the same movie. There were very much many sort of references to each of those films together that sort of they could have had connectivity between them, because like obviously with Spider-Man being from Sony and then X-Men and Fantastic Four being from Fox, those being different studios, and then the Ang Lee's 2003 Hulk being from Universal, and so they came from very different studios. They obviously didn't get to essentially make up and make a plan to be in the same universe, because they were all essentially selfish, and they couldn't play fair, and that's when the idea started to develop to actually put them from the start be from the same universe. And yeah, that's where Kevin Feige and others sort of started like thinking like, okay, there's a possibility and there's like potential with these characters that these other studios are not fulfilling fully. Let's do it properly and let's do it on our own. And they went to ask the loan from Merrill Lynch, and anyway, I'm back to where I started. Anyway, it's fascinating how much of a gamble this movie was, and like it's just fascinating to think about the alternate universe where this movie flopped, and there's a universe out there where Iron Man stayed alone as Iron Man, and there was no MCU after this. And yeah, that it's crazy to think about. And yeah, anyway, I completely just rambled through that explanation, but if you want a clear explanation, I'd go to Google or the New Rockstars. They have this Road to Doomsday podcast that they do, and they explain it much better over there. I can just borrow what they said, and also obviously stuff I already knew, and also what I just learned from Google. So anyway, all that being said, this movie was fucking amazing. Let's talk about the movie actually. This movie is brilliant. I give it 5 stars on Letterbox. Go check out my Letterbox, by the way. I leave the review under this video. But yeah, oh my god. I don't understand how this movie did not get the Oscar for sound effects. Not sound effects, sound design. This movie is brilliantly sound designed. I mean, obviously, from the look of the film alone, it's fantastic. But the sounds what make the movie. the sound design is so concise. It's so restrained in a way that's like it's not like over the top that it like takes you away. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like realistic. Like draws you in from the sounds, and again I don't know how it did not even get recognition. Like it should have gotten an Oscar. Like was it not Dark Knight, the Dark Knight that got Oscar for best sound design, which okay, I love that movie. That's a fucking I mean, talk about Iron Man being on the Mount Rushmore of superhero movies. The Dark Knight is the other superhero movie that belongs to be on their Mount Rushmore. But how did that get better sound design than this movie? The sounds is what make this fucking movie. And like, okay, to be fair to Dark Knight, it had good sound design and everything. Like the whole movie is fucking amazing. But it's the sound design in this movie. I keep rambling on about this, but the sound design is so, I don't know, it's just captivate. I don't know if captivating is really even the correct term for it, but like, it's fascinating. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's good. My conclusion, it's good. Sound design is good. The CGI holds up. Which, like I kind of mentioned, the look of the film is obviously very fucking good. I failed to see any like bad CGI scenes in this movie. Sort of everything is top notch, just amazing. It's helped by practical effects, like the big Iron Man suit that RDJ actually wears is made by Stan Winston, who's the fucking goat, obviously. And like, yeah, obviously doing stuff practically just brings out more realism to the film, obviously. And like, it's so fucking good. I mean, like pretty much the only, like, okay, that I guess it helps that Iron Man is sort of, the metal is supposed to be shiny and like not like, I don't know, it's good, it fits, it's good. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it's good, you know. Yeah, this movie, I mean, talk about the fucking acting also. Like Robert Downey Jr., obviously everybody knows this already, but he fucking is, like, he didn't just inhabit this role, like he became Tony Stark in real life. I mean, yeah, he might have been already kind of like Tony Stark, but like he became Tony Stark, and like that shows. Like he became Iron Man after this film, and I guess that's sort of why it's now hard to see him as Doctor Doom. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was amazing. I really liked oh god, the fucking the guy, the guy that I'm trying to think. What the fuck? Jeff Bridges. Fuck, thank you. Jeff Bridges. I always kind of liked his performance in this, but now that I was actually paying attention, I really liked his performance. It's very nuanced, and it's not maybe talked about enough. I don't know. It's good. I liked it. Terrence Howard is in this movie. I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad in it, but I don't know. I guess I guess he doesn't get to fully shine, because there's also that scene where he's like, "Next time, baby," and he doesn't get the suit. Like, yeah, maybe he doesn't get his chance to shine the way Don Cheadle gets to shine in later movies. But I really, I don't know what to say about it. I'm not saying he's bad, obviously, but I don't know what to say. thank you for your service, for being in this movie. Gwyneth Paltrow, the guy, the actress of Pepper Potts, is surprisingly nice. It's a weird way to say someone's acting. But yeah, she's good in this film. I really kind of liked it. There was I have no idea where I heard this, but there was talk about some of the previous. Oh, it must have been Road to Doomsday. They were talking about how I forgot what movie it was, but there was a woman actor in that movie. Oh, it might have been Ghost Rider with Eva Mendes. Because Nick Cage kind of loves to improvise a lot of his stuff, and sort of that leaves the other actors in the scene to sort of react to his improvisation rather than like go along with the script. The same thing kind of happened here, cause okay, I'm not gonna talk about the whole script situation now, but let me finish my thought. Gwyneth Paltrow kind of was left in the same thing that Eva Mendes was in Ghost Rider, but in that case it was I don't know, maybe okay, I'm just gonna say it was worse in that movie. In here, Pepper Potts actually gets to, even though there are clear scenes where maybe the tone of the character was a little bit off because there are clear scenes that he's like Robert Downey Jr. He's clearly saying something that wasn't in the script, and Gwyneth Paltrow is improvising to that scene as Gwyneth Paltrow, not as Pepper Potts. I don't know if that makes any sense, but those sort of happen in this movie. That I don't really mind it because I don't know. But yeah, the script situation about this movie that I kind of said, I don't know. Again, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I'm just flexing with my knowledge here. But the script in this movie was never finished. The script for this movie, the whole process for this script was essentially Marvel hired a bunch of writers, and it was basically 2 scripts made at the same time. And sort of Jon Favreau went into each of the writers' rooms and sort of picked certain pieces of those 2 scripts, very different scripts, and sort of put together the movie that way, which I don't know how the hell do you do that, but fucking somehow it worked. I mean, there were some, I'd say there are some things that I now noticed are kind of getting more into nitpicky territory for my taste, but like there are things that don't really make sense, but overall this script is very solid, and the highs of the script and the highs of the movie far outdistance the lows of this movie, so I don't really mind it. But yeah, essentially there was no script. Pretty much every day on set, RDJ would come in and sort of discuss the scene, what's happening in the scene with Jon Favreau, and they would kind of either write the script on the day, or they would just kind of improvise the whole thing. Yeah, it's gonna get memed already, so I'm just gonna say it. That sort of might have become a sort of a blueprint for Marvel, because I mean, yeah, obviously Marvel has been clowned for not having a finished script for these movies, even though in most cases it's kind of the same thing here, but not really, because at least to my understanding, and there was even recently with Comic-Con there was a interview where a bunch of the cast were interviewed, and the interviewer asked if there was an actual script, and they were kind of joking around with him like, yeah, no, we didn't get a script, whatever, but the interview kept pushing, oh no, there wasn't a script, and this cast snapped at the interview like, hey, we know the script, there was a script, there were like 50 versions of the script, but we had the script. And like, yeah, Marvel has scripts for their movies, but I think Marvel does the thing where they never lock it in fully because of this movie, because of the way, and especially this is very clear with the Russo brothers, because the Russo brothers, the thing that they do best, they are really good collaborators. They are not the most visionary directors or whatever, but they are very good collaborators. They are very good to sort of bring people together, and these actors who pretty much all are A-listers, B-listers, like they know, these actors know how to act. They know their shit. They know how to be actors. They give ideas, and the reason why they never lock the script down fully is because they always want to leave room to sort of doctor the script, sort of leave room for improvement, leave room to sort of improvise and adapt, and sort of, I guess, I don't want to say improvise, but sort of be in this spirit of never, I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work, but the idea of having a script that is not finished is, I think, for the best, and especially with the Russo brothers, because the Russo brothers, again, they are the best at being collaborators, and they'll sort of they have a script and they have the whole plot in mind, but they can, before they start a scene, they can very easily, because there's two of them, there's two Russo brothers, if you don't know, they can sort of go around the room and sort of ask, what do they think their characters, they would ask the other actors, what would their characters sort of react in these scenes, how would they approach it from their point of view, and then sort of direct the scene based on that, rather than like, okay, this is the script, everybody read it, good, that's your line, said it at this point and at this point. By the way, that's bad directing, just making up, I'm making a joke that was what? Whoa, that was a weird noise that came out of my mouth. I was trying to say what's the word? Extrapolating. What the fuck is the word that I'm trying to say? Anyway, I was exaggerating the thing for the bit, but like, they do this thing where they really trust the actors to sort of come up with their character's point of view, and that helps them to sort of shape the scene based around the characters and not fully the plot. And nobody does it better than the Russo brothers. I don't know if I'm the only one saying this. I don't care. But yeah, like I said in my previous video, I trust the Russo brothers, and this is why they were brought back, and this is why they work best in these big ensembles. Because I keep harping on this fact, but they are really good collaborators. Anyway, back to this movie. This movie was really much improv, and some actors like Robert Downey Jr. really benefit from that freedom to sort of not be shackled to the script and sort of let loose and be this creative, unique version of themselves. And yeah, it worked. This movie works, and it's a fucking miracle that it worked, considering the pressure everyone must have had, because this movie needed to work. So yeah, I imagine people working on this film did not feel the best working on this film, but yeah, the results speak for themselves, and this movie became a fucking huge hit, and it is the sole reason we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So thank you, Robert Downey Jr., thank you, Kevin Feige, thank you, Jon Favreau, for first of all believing in Robert Downey Jr. and really making this movie work, because there's not a fucking actor otherwise than Robert Downey Jr. that could get this movie to work. No disrespect to Tom Cruise, but he would not have made this movie better. Just throwing it out there. So yeah, that's my fucking long rant about Iron Man. I said everything I remember to say, but I took notes, so don't worry, I still have stuff to talk about. Hold on. I wrote here Arc reactor scene, fake chest, looks weird, neck is wrong. To translate what I'm trying to say is there's that scene where Pepper Potts is like coming in to fish out our Tony's arc reactor. Did you know that that is not RDJ's real chest? That is a prosthetic made by Stan Winston and his team, and Robert Downey Jr. is kind of like leaning back on the chair, like behind the chair, and like having his arms forward and having his neck kind of very weird. I've always kind of known this fact, but now I really wanted to pay real close attention to this because I never noticed this, but it looks. Now that I know how it's made and I've seen some behind the scenes of it, I'm like, it does not look right. But how many times have I seen this movie and thought that looks right? But now that I know how it's made and how it's not really supposed to be fully RDJ's chest, now it looks weird. It's like this. It's not a Mandela effect, but it's like some fancy word for it, I'm sure. But it's weird. The neck looks weird. He's like leaning back, but like his chest is like he's like in the scene his chest should be like laying flat, and his neck is not like twisted up like this, because he's, even though in the scene his chest goes here, but it's actually his chest is more like, I'm not explaining it well, but you know what I'm trying to say. His neck looks kind of weird. Yeah, it was weird, but not like this is not like this is not a negative thing I'm trying to say here, but like, go look at that scene. That's kind of weird, right? What other notes did I have? The SFX are not big boom but small thing. Oh yeah. I mean, I kind of touched on this, but the sound design is not like it's not big booms, you know. It's like that thing and the small itty bitty details of this metal, the sounds that are like, again, I don't know how to describe it again, but it's fascinating and it's really, really well made. Like, how the fuck did this movie not win an Oscar for sound design or any awards for sound design? I fucking won a sound design thing here in one of my projects that it was a fucking, anyway, I'm getting very much off topic, but there was a little 10 seconds where I'm guessing I accidentally deactivated one of the audio tracks. So there was a literal like 10 seconds of a scene with no sound. And if you have any idea how sound design is made in this industry, that is a big no-no. You can't have that. There should always be some kind of sound, at least some in the far background at the very least. You should never leave the track without sound. That's a big no-no. And I still won like a rose for it, which I don't really believe, but I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, good sound design. I don't know how it didn't record it. Anyway, good things. Yeah, good. I'm not gonna explain it. Fucking you figure it out. Music fanfare, remains of the Iron Man jingle. Oh yeah. Pretty much anytime a phone rings in this movie, it's the Iron Man jingle from the animated show. I was gonna sing it to you, but I just completely forgot the jingle. So I'm not gonna. I'll fucking go look for it, loser. One thing I want to talk about here. I want to highlight the fucking brilliant decision to bring in S.H.I.E.L.D. into this movie. What exactly was the wording here? The S.H.I.E.L.D. was a perfect way to introduce a larger universe. We all know the last scene of the post-credit scene where Nick Fury comes in and we have to talk about the Avengers initiative. Everybody knows that. I don't know why am I like out of breath for some reason. I've been recording for 40 fucking minutes anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Nick Fury in this movie comes in and no, that's not what I was talking about. Shield, I think, I mean, yeah, in this first phase of Marvel, Phil Coulson is a very important character. He's the reason the Avengers assembled to avenge him. I lost my train of thought what I was building up to. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe, hopefully. Maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, I like the inclusion of S.H.I.E.L.D. It really opens the gates to the larger universe. And, yeah. I realized I really have nothing really to add to that, so... Yeah, that was all my notes. That was all I talked about. I've been doing this for fucking 40 minutes, over 40 minutes. I'm sorry if this ran a little long. I guess I had a lot to talk about. I love this movie. I really love this movie. And I couldn't think of a better movie to be the movie to watch on my birthday. Today's my birthday, by the way. And, okay, now it's getting personal. This is my first birthday where I'm not surrounded by family, because this is the first birthday that I've spent alone. Like I live alone. I mean, I'm supposed to be moving out of this apartment in hopefully a month's time, but anyway, it's too much happen. And anyway, this is not important. This is my first birthday alone, and like, okay, before you get like, don't fucking feel bad for me, okay? Like, I got messages, a ton of fucking messages from family and a few friends, like, hey, happy birthday, and even my mom called, so like, it's fine. But like, this is my first time that I'm so far away from home, and I haven't really interacted with any member of my family for my birthday. Like I said, my mom called me. I've been getting messages. It's fine. Don't feel sad. Don't feel pity. But like, it's kind of weird how this day went because of San Diego Comic-Con happened, and I've been alive. Yes, no. I woke up today at 3 a.m. and I've been following San Diego Comic-Con this whole day. I've been technically, actually no, I took a small nap between 1 a.m. to like 3:20 p.m. or whatever it was. So I slept for like 2 hours, which could explain why I'm so hyper here. But anyway, I've been following, reading just about everything from San Diego Comic-Con. And some real good news was shared about the MCU, and to sort of tie the knot. No, what the fuck is the word? Sort of conclude the day with this movie. And now talking about the movie and just sharing my absolute love for this movie. Should I feel ashamed to say this is probably my best birthday I've ever had? I had some good food today too, so like, a lot of good stuff happened today. Yeah, it was a good birthday. And yeah, today is my birthday. I'm 21 now, and I can drink, even though I've been drinking for 3 years. But not drinking like, I've had a few sips here and there, but like, I'm not a social drinker, because I have social anxiety. No, I mean, I might have, fairly sure I have, but that's not important. Anyway, I've been rambling too long. I just want to conclude this episode and say, this has been, and this will remain forever an all-time classic in all superhero movies ever made. And this movie belongs on the Mount Rushmore of superhero movies as probably the greatest superhero movie ever made. Like right next to The Dark Knight, like right there. But yeah, this movie, is awesome. I love this movie. I recommend anyone out there who's now, I don't know if anybody's gotten to this point of the video, but if you're still here, first of all, thank you. Leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff also would help. But just thank you, and hey, please go watch this movie. It's fucking fantastic. It's on Disney Plus. It's on a few pirating websites if you don't if you don't have Disney Plus. But yeah, I recommend you go watch this. It's a really good movie. Get some popcorn and enjoy the day. And yeah, it's a good movie. Go watch it. I love this movie. Anyway, oh no, the vibe score. I forgot about that. I'm gonna give this movie a 98%. Yes, that makes history as the biggest vibe score I've ever given. And yeah, I don't know if any movie ever is gonna be 100. It's gonna be quite the fucking feat to even get to a 99, but this movie has a 98, and that might be, I mean, I think there's some fucking banger movies in the MCU, so like, maybe it depends on the day. Maybe it's because it's my birthday, I rank the vibe a little bit higher, I don't know, but yeah, I'm giving Iron Man 2008's Iron Man 98 on the vibe meter, and I'm saying this to all of you: goodbye and good night. What the fuck was that outro? What the hell am I doing? Anyway, like, subscribe, go check out my socials. You know how this works, and I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching.